we're gonna talk about how what kind of the catalyst of you getting into this whole chainsaw
Sure.
scenario. So you know how you start down one road and then you end up where you're at.
Yeah. So initially had a landscape company, private neighborhood. We did all their stuff, and in the dead of winter, they had a tree come down across their private drive. So we had 15 people who couldn't go to work that morning and everything. So I stopped at the local supply place and bought the cheapest Echo they had, and then drove to the job site
Where it begins.
to find out that it's about a 24-inch trunk, and it's definitely bigger than I can move myself. But me and that 16-inch Echo, we cut it into about 12 pieces that I could roll off the side of the road into a ravine, thankfully. And so I wasn't super stoked to do much more chainsaw work after that, after doing the wrong job with the wrong tool.
Right.
Eventually, I had a guy come to work for me from down in Guatemala, and he was line clearance certified and everything. I mean, just an insanely good climber. And at that point, we were turning away tree work and just referring it to guys in the business. And he looked at me and said, "Dave, no, we need to do this job." I said, "I don't have any equipment. I don't know how. I don't have the insurance." And he said, "Let's go to Buckeye Power Supply, our local place." And he said, "I need this and I need this." And so I bought a 200T new off the shelf that day for $600. I wish we could still do that. But over the course of 3 years, we started doing a lot of tree work and crazy fun stuff. And I got into chainsaws. And had a buddy of mine who does fire restoration, general contractor, say, "Hey Dave, can I borrow a couple chainsaws? I need to clear some land. I bought the empty lot next to my house." So I take it over, show him, loan him a pair of MS361s, and I don't hear from him for quite a while. We were good buddies, referred a lot of work back and forth. Finally, I called him. I said, "Hey, I'm getting ready to do a job. I'm going to need, I think I only left him one. I'm going to need that 361 back." He said, "Oh, okay, I'll leave it out for you." I thought, that's weird. Why didn't he just bring it back over? He said, the starter is a little sticky." Okay. And, I'm thinking he dumped Mountain Dew on the handle. No. What he meant was one of his guys straight gassed my saw. And by sticky, he means when you grab it, it doesn't move at all. So I went to the local shop. They gave me an estimate to repair it that was basically, "Dave, you need to go out front and buy an MS362 for $721 because this saw is done."
Very specific amount of money.
I remembered because I bought it. And it sucked. It was a crappy saw. Coincidentally, also my first ported saw. I asked Mastermind about it after finding forums and stuff. And he said, "You got a guy right up north of you, Brad Snelling. He does a good 362, and he did. He did a great job."
This is Arborist Site days, right?
This is Arborist Site
This
days.
is back
Yeah.
before, because Arborist Site was kind of like, initially, that was the place where chainsaw guys go. I remember because I would search chainsaws, and like you would search a chainsaw, and the only fucking query that would show up would be
Arborist Sites.
Right.
Yep. So, kind of at the same time this is going on, I'm looking for a big saw. Carlos is telling me I need an 066. So I'm searching everywhere for an 066. They're a bunch of money. I end up accidentally buying a chainsaw store in Newark, Ohio. The guy's grandfather owned it, had retired.
Accidentally.
He said, "Yeah, I probably got the parts for an 066 if you want to come look at what I got." And he had a 2-car garage with so many chainsaws and parts in it that he had 6 of the extendable metal posts to hold up the rafters because there was so much weight up there of chainsaw stuff that the roof was going to fall. And he said, "I really just want to sell everything." And he had a lathe and all kinds of chainsaw tooling. And we arrived at a price. And he said, "Yeah, I'm glad, because my wife is having a Mustang hauled back from Texas that's rust free, and she said she was going to set all this stuff out in the alley if it wasn't gone in 2 weeks. So, lo and behold, there was an 066 in there that was real messed up. And had I known it at the time, I would have fixed it. I sold it at my big chainsaw yard sale, which was kind of the first time I sold any chainsaw stuff.